Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Ambrose from All About Tech. Welcome back to another video. I hope everyone had a really good weekend. To kick off this week's first video, I just want to talk about the market as a whole. It sucks, doesn't it? Like, altcoins are getting absolutely battered in the market. Bitcoin's dominance is up to nearly 53%. It's absorbing quite a lot of what is currently in the altcoins, and I just want to talk about how the current market makes absolutely no difference as to how Electroneum are operating and how they're developing their project, and basically how it won't stop them from succeeding in the future. So the first point I want to make is the fact that ETN they've already raised the money to operate for the foreseeable future. If you remember, they've done their ICO and they raised a substantial amount of money. I think at the time, Bitcoin was around $4,000. I think it was around $4,000 to $5,000. And if you look at Bitcoin's price now, Electroneum are still better off from their ICO now as what they were before. So I'm not 100% certain if they liquidated all of the funds straight after ICO, or if they're liquidating as they go, or if they liquidated right at the top. One thing's for certain is that they still have the exact amount of money that they had at ICO, if not more, because of how the market currently is. And I think that's really important, because the market and ETN's current price has no correlation to Electroneum being able to operate. Then it's not like they're using ETN to pay their staff on a monthly basis, to buy their equipment. They would have used the ICO funds from Bitcoin and Ethereum. I can't remember if they took Ethereum or not, I can't remember. But they would have taken those, and it would have, well, they would have to be liquidating, whether or not they're liquidating as and when they need it, or if they liquidated the whole lot just to be like, hey, this is how much we've got. Because in terms of regulation at the moment, and especially the UK, you don't know whether or not a company like that is going to be liable for tax. So you've always got to think about whether or not the government's going to come after a certain amount of that ICO funds for tax, which we don't. Obviously, we don't know if there is like a rainy day fund or whatever for tax, just in case. But I'm sure that they would have thought about something like that, especially in the UK where everything's taxed. So, in terms of money to operate, the current market and the current price of ETN makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. ETN's price could go down to 0.001 of a penny, 0.1 of a penny, and it still wouldn't change ETN being able to operate, because they're still operating. They're still doing what they've said that they've been out to do. And during these tough times, during the whole Twitter vote and everything, they were just busy hard at work. They were just getting on with it, and that's really important. The second thing I want to talk about, which makes it that it has nothing to do with the current market, is the fact that Electroneum are still gaining massive amounts of users. And the number of active users is important for the project, because no matter what Bitcoin's price is, if there's 10 million people using ETN, and at the moment, pretty much all of ETN's users are banked users, not so much speculative investors. Pretty much all of them are speculative investors, obviously, because that's what crypto is at the moment, and there isn't the instant payment system's not out yet. Nothing's been rolled out yet properly. Only the mobile miner and the app. So it's important to note that when ETN has 10 million users, and that's not an if, that's a when, because the way things are going, they will have 10 million users from like 12 months from now, as long as they keep doing what they're doing. I mean, Richard said that he wants 10 million users within the next 12 months. And I think that's totally achievable, considering that they've already... The hardest part, and it's similar to growing any sort of business. Growing your initial amount of users is always the hardest part. Once you have that first 1 million or 2 million users, you then just get that organic, steady rise in growth. I mean, you've seen it with my YouTube channel. It took much longer for me to gain 100 users, 100 subscribers than it has for me to gain 1,000 subscribers, and then 2,000 and 3,000. And at the moment, I'm now at 4.1 thousand subscribers, because the level of which it grows just keeps accelerating and accelerating. And that's really like just a golden example. It's the same with growing any sort of business. As long as they're doing the work, and as long as things are going to plan. Yeah, there's been hiccups. There will always be hiccups in tech companies. Microsoft have had tech hiccups. Bitcoin's had loads of tech hiccups. Ethereum's had tech hiccups. Ripple's had tech hiccups. But they've all had years to develop their tech. Whereas Electroneum have been going for around 9 months. And they need to be given the time to develop their tech as well. So yeah, 10 million users within the next 12 months. That would put ETN the second largest crypto in terms of user numbers. Obviously, Bitcoin, I think there's over like 20 odd million wallets for Bitcoin at the moment. But Bitcoin is simply traded as a speculative investment. It's not really used as a currency so much. You don't really see people buying things. People do buy things with it, but only a very small fraction of people that own Bitcoin use it to buy things with. And I'm not talking about buying other cryptos, because that doesn't count. You're just buying into another speculative investment. And then by the time that happens, the instant payment system will be out. The mobile operators will be accepting ETN as a means of payment or discount for their for airtime and data. And Electroneum will be a real-world product used by millions of unbanked users. And I'll go into the unbanked part in a minute, but 10 million users within the next 12 months. If you've got 10 million people using a cryptocurrency, the current market sentiment makes no difference whatsoever, because if it's being used, that is deemed successful. And that's the simple terms of it. If it's being used, it's successful. So moving into the next part, and that is that ETN have deals and information that they haven't unveiled yet until they've got their minimum viable proposition out, and that is the instant payment system. It's currently in beta, due for release in September, and we already know that they've got mobile operators. We don't know which mobile operators yet, obviously, but they're not going to unveil that until the instant payment system is out, and that those mobile operators can integrate Electroneum within their services. Once that happens, because these mobile operators aren't going to want ETN to unveil it before it happens, because then if there's delays and stuff, that may look bad on them as well. So they're just doing their due diligence about it. And in terms of the instant payment system, these big mobile operators, they don't want to be the ones that are running it in beta. They want to use something that's working. All these smaller businesses will be using the beta. They will be the guinea pigs as such for this instant payment system, which they're doing a really good thing by testing it for Electroneum, and then the mobile operators, once they've seen that it works and it gets unveiled and it gets released, then they start taking it on board, and then Electroneum can start announcing partnerships, etc. That's the important part. That mobile operators will not announce anything, and ETN will not be allowed to announce anything until it's there working. The next thing I want to talk about in relation to the current market, and that is the fact that I don't know any other cryptocurrency that are taken the route of getting know your customer and anti-money laundering protocols in place, ready for dealing with corporate partners and corporate businesses. And I think Richard said it in the question time with Richard Ailes' interview. Richard Ailes said it perfectly, that you're not going to get billions of people around the world to adapt to the cryptocurrency market. The cryptocurrency market is going to have to adapt to the real world and to be used by real people. And that, with KYC, know your customer, and AML, anti-money laundering, you look at gambling businesses. Gambling businesses over the last 5 years have developed their online services massively, but they're constantly subject to audits and new regulations, purely due to the fact that it is it used to be so easy for people to launder money through it. You walk into a bookies with like £2,000 cash and they would have taken it. Nowadays, you don't see that because of anti-money laundering regulations coming in and know your customer regulations coming in. So they're doing that to make sure, and it makes Electroneum look good as well, that they are protecting corporate partners and they're protecting their users from accidentally laundering money or not knowing who they're dealing with. I think that's extremely important. I think that is really important. And Richard Ailes has even said that KYC, corporate businesses don't want to deal with cryptos that don't have know your customer in place. Not so much the anti-money laundering, because it depends what kind of company that you're partnering with, but AML is really important for certain, especially for fintech, for financial services. Anti-money laundering is extremely important. So that, with the current market, Electroneum is getting all that in place, and they will literally be the only cryptocurrency, to my knowledge, that has know your customer and anti-money laundering in place. Therefore, making it very, very easy for Electroneum to be able to partner with these big corporate companies, as they will be pretty much the only option for these companies to get involved in blockchain, unless they develop it themselves, obviously. But that will be basically one of their only routes to get into the market, by going through Electroneum. And then moving into one of my final point of it is that Electroneum are entering a market that is untapped. They're targeting the unbanked. There's no competition there. You look how successful M-Pesa has been in I think it's Kenya that they're using that they started M-Pesa. And M-Pesa is a digital wallet where you send money to each other via your mobile and via your I don't know if it's via their data or via their mobile number or via their phone contracts or whatever. But needless to say, if M-Pesa tried integrating that in the UK or the US, it wouldn't have been as successful, because they went into an untapped market with no competition. M-Pesa has strived, and they've become a very, very, very successful business, and that's important. And that's exactly what Electroneum are doing in terms of the unbanked. They're giving them a digital payment solution that they have never had before, and that is extremely important. And that's basically it. Electroneum they're not only targeting the unbanked. I think everybody needs to understand that they're not just targeting the unbanked, but they're establishing themselves within the unbanked market, and then with the success of it, it will spread. That's how a lot of these a lot of tech developments go into place. They like guinea pig it in a market where nothing's available, and then if it works there, they start bringing it to everyone else because they see the uses of it. And all of these reasons that I'm stating shows that the current price of ETN doesn't matter at the moment. The market will eventually go on a bull run, that's fine. But the current price doesn't stop Electroneum operating, and it doesn't stop them from fulfilling their goals and letting them achieve what they want to achieve. I think that's really important. So let me know what you guys think of all of these reasons why I think the current market sentiment doesn't really matter. In terms of speculative investments, yes, everybody looks at CoinMarketCap. If you just look at every single crypto is massively down from their all-time highs. Massively down. I think the only ones that you can really exclude are Bitcoin, because it never had an ICO, Ethereum, because it never really had, I don't think Ethereum had an ICO, and then a handful of others. But if you look at CoinMarketCap, nearly every single cryptocurrency is like 80 to 90% down from their all-time highs. So that just goes to show that it's the entire market, and a lot of altcoins will cease to exist in the coming months, to the next 12 months to 2 years. But it's also really important to note that, one, Electroneum are doing it properly and they're running like a real business. Two, they're just working hard. They're extremely professional as well. They don't go around just criticizing other cryptocurrencies, and people are going to know where I'm getting that part from. But it just goes to show that they're running like a real business. They're not being childish. They're just getting on with what they need to do. But if you like this video, guys, give it a like. There's not really any news or anything about anything at the moment. Make sure you enter my 5,000 ETN giveaway by clicking on the video that I'm going to leave at the end here. Just comment your ETN address, like that video, and subscribe to All About Tech for a chance to win. I'm doing the giveaway tomorrow, so make sure you enter for your chance to win. Like this video as well. Comment down below what your thoughts are with the thoughts on this on the whole market as a whole. And subscribe to All About Tech. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.